Well, good morning, everyone in the world. And it is here in Lou Ann Pikett's kitchen in Southwest Florida. It is a beautiful day today, high of 75. Low is going to be like 52 or something insanely cold to us. So I'm going to start out on making my cream chicken and cornbread. I'm going to put this in the oven and then go do my makeup real quick. And this is what I am making for our little dinner. And I love this one because it is an all-inclusive casserole. It means it has your meat, vegetables, and everything in it. So I am going to melt 6 tablespoons of butter, and then I am going to add 6 tablespoons of flour. Let me get that ready. Okay, I'm over here with the flour. There is 4 tablespoons and 6. I'm going to add some salt and pepper to the flour. Okay, now we're done with the flour. Let me get my little hot shot here. Does this even tell me? It says, okay, I need more than that. I'm going to do about half a teaspoon of pepper and a teaspoon of salt. Okay, now a teaspoon of salt. I always think it needs more salt. It says 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. That's never enough salt. So let's do a teaspoon of salt. And I'm doing this hot shot pepper, which is a mix of red pepper and black pepper. And I'm putting it here in the flour. I have a whole lot of rice there, so I'm going to add a little more salt to compensate for the rice that I'm not putting in there. Keep my salt from being damp. Okay, so we're going to get half a teaspoon of this hot shot. And we got our butter melting. Ooh, but melting butter smells so good. Smells so good. So that's both black and red peppers. They get a little kick, but not too much of a kick. Just a little kick. And then it also asks for 1/4 teaspoon of basil. Actually going to cut that down to half. I'm going to do 1/8 of a teaspoon. So I just kind of want a little bit of spice. So I don't think is this in your view? Well, let's just move it over a little. There we go. There's my little cup of flour and salt and pepper. So I'm doing 1/8 of a teaspoon of basil. I say do 1/4 teaspoon if you want it stronger, but you know, I completely forgot to put the spices in one day, and my parents were like, oh, it's even better this week. And I'm like, oh, they think they like it better without the spices. Okay. So I'm going to put half. This is thyme. So that way it won't be real strong. And rosemary. And then we're going to put it in there for that flour and make a roux. So that's just half the amount of spices I normally put in there, except I added more pepper. Salt. Okay, so let's add this in to the pot we're cooking here. Get it with a spoon. Stir that till it's together. Then we're going to add milk and chicken broth to this. And then we're going to add, we're going to bring that to a simmer, and then we're going to add our chicken and our frozen mixed vegetables, which I have thawed. There we go. See how simple that is. Alright, so then I need a 1.5 cups. Is that what I need? I need a 1.5 cups of chicken broth and a 1.5 cups of milk. So let me get my 1.5 cups of milk. There we go. I'm going to heat that for a minute so it will be not ice cold. You can put it in there ice cold. It just takes longer to come to a boil. Alright, so let me put a few of these things up while we are waiting. Oh, I need that milk out again though, don't I? I'm going to need the milk one more time. The flour I'm done with though. Okay. Almost done here. Let me open up my chicken broth. I used to use chicken stock. It has a little more flavor in it. Oh, man, I can't open it. There we go. It's so difficult, but it is. Then I'm going to do 1 box of the Jiffy cornbread mix. If you would rather do homemade cornbread, you can. Actually, this recipe it gives you a recipe for homemade cornbread, but this is so much easier. It's faster. So that's what I'm going to do. Put all my spices back up here. Just waiting for that to warm to get my package open and ready to go. There we go. So we're going to put in 1.5 cups of milk that I have heated a little bit. Turn that back up to like medium. And then I'm going to also put 1.5 cups of this chicken stock. Then we'll just heat those together, and that's going to be pretty close to done there. Okay, let me join that. And let me stir the pot. All we have to do really is bring this to a boil. And it's pretty well done. Then we're going to bake this so it browns the cornbread. It's going to be so, so good. Let's see, what do I need to put my oven on? What does it tell me here? Well, let's look at the right recipe. The oven, this one, I think I'm going to go by this one. Yeah, the oven goes to 400. I do it by what it says on the cornbread package rather than the recipe says 450, but it kind of like burns it a little. So since the package of cornbread says 400, let's do 400. Okay, so then I'm going to take my measuring bowl here while that's going. And I'm going to do the cornbread mix. So what you need with this is 1/3 cup of milk. So you're just going to do what the package tells you to do. Just 1/3 cup of milk and 1 egg. Over here. There's the egg. Oops, sloshing the egg. Then we're going to stir those together. Also go back and stir my pot here. It'll be sticking a little bit. Just gotta wait for this to start bubbling, and that means then it will have thickened once it starts bubbling. Actually, getting done not too terribly late today. That's amazing. Alright, so let me get my, these are dirty. stir this milk and egg together. Then we're going to add our Jiffy cornbread mix into that. Just do it right in the mixing bowl. I don't know if you ever realize you can actually mix this Jiffy cornbread mix right in a mixing cup. Right in a 2-cup mixing cup. You sure can. Let me stir this again. We're getting really close here. This cornbread is kind of a sweeter cornbread, and it is so good on top of this. And even though it looks like when you make it, it looks like it would sink down into the batter and never come back out again, but it doesn't. It will rise back out, and it will not be soggy on the bottom. That's the best part of it. And if you don't like soggy cornbread, this will not be soggy on the bottom. Not too sure why, but it isn't. So you're going to let this sit for about 4 minutes to rise a little bit, the cornbread. Let me get another spoon for this to make sure I got the bottom stirred, because the fork doesn't stir the bottom very well. But I need the fork to kind of stir it. Then I'm going to switch to a spoon. Fork works better in the beginning. Okay, let's do 4 minutes there. All right, I think we are bubbling here. Are we? Yes, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Okay. Then we're going to take, and we're going to add, now normally, I looked at the wrong recipe last night. You're supposed to put 2 chicken breasts in this, and I actually only did 1. So I'm like, uh-oh, I'm gonna be a little low with chicken. So we're gonna add a little more vegetables instead. That's perfectly fine. So I have the equivalent of a chicken breast here. Should be 2. Pretend it's 2. But so then you're gonna add 2 cups of vegetables. You can use, if you would rather use fresh vegetables, you can, but then you need to saute them in butter till they get a little tender. But the frozen mixed vegetables you can just add straight in. So I'm going to, instead of putting 2 cups, since I'm short of chicken a little bit, I'm going to put 3 cups. So it'll just be a little higher in vegetables. I probably like it better. And so I'm just going to do frozen mixed vegetables. Let me get my scissors and open the bag. Pour it into a measuring cup. So I've just had these thawing in the refrigerator overnight. Okay, here's 1 cup, only because my 2-cup measure is occupied. So there's 1 cup. And I'm a little fond, mostly of the peas and carrots. So I bought another bag of just peas and carrots. So I'm going to put partly mixed vegetables and partly peas and carrots, because those are my favorite. Those are my favorite ones. I would do all peas and carrots, but I know Dad likes beans and corn, so we will do some of both. So let's stir that in and see what it looks like. It's still a little bit cold, but it won't matter. It'll get hot in the oven. Okay, so then I need 1 more cup. So I'm going to do half of that with mixed vegetables. I might just go ahead, because I've got, yeah, I'm going to do a little bit more with them, because that just empties that bag. I'm going to empty that bag, and then I'm going to add a little more peas and carrots on top. Still going to have extra peas and carrots. Okay, there's our 3rd cup of vegetables. Like I said, if you do 2 chicken breasts, you only need 2 cups of vegetables. All right, there we go. That's done. So we have 2 minutes left. Look at that. Oh my goodness. You know what else you can do with this is make chicken pot pie. So at this point, you can make chicken pot pie with it. You can put this in a pan with puff pastry on top. Oh yeah, that is really good too. Or you can do what I'm doing, put the cornbread on top. So I'm going to move over here to our pan. And Hope this is the right size. If it's not, I'm going to switch it to the bigger one. I'm trying to take the smallest pan I can. You can spray it a little bit with spray. It doesn't really need a whole lot of spray. It doesn't really have a tendency to stick that much, but I just spray a little bit in there. Okay. That usually doesn't stick at all. All right, let me put these peas and carrots back in the freezer. And let's see if this fits in this pan. Let me get a scraper. Here we go. It doesn't fit. Like I said, I do have a bigger one. Just trying to use the small one. Mostly because I'm going to leave this behind, the leftovers, with my mother. And I want her to have the easiest thing for her to pick up and move around. Whoops. Get back. Oh, I missed it. Piece of corn fell off the edge. Man overboard. Corn overboard. Okay. Now, I think we will have, the cornbread will rise out of this pan a little bit, but it should be fine. Oh, that was corn and peas. He took a buddy with him overboard. Okay, there we go. There we are. Taste this. It is so good. Let's see if I got enough salt. I do. You definitely need a teaspoon of salt. Okay. Unless you're trying to reduce your salt, then put less. I think I'm also going to put this, just in case it wants to slosh over. Since it is going to be a little full, I'm going to put it on top of the baking pan. Okay, so we are done with the cornbread. Then you're just going to take your cornbread and lay it on top. And this does not have to be perfect. You don't even have to worry about the holes. They'll kind of fill in, and even if they don't fill in, it won't matter. Because it'll kind of rise, you know, come together. But see, like, you know, if there's a little hole, like right there, that doesn't matter. It'll be a little escape for the steam, or it will come together. It'll be fine. So you just kind of want to lay it around as much as you can, though. And I know the first time I made this, I'm like, oh, this isn't going to work. This doesn't look like this is going to work at all, because it just looks like it sinks into the batter. It will work. Trust. Just trust. It is going to work. And then you're going to put it in the oven at 400. What does it say? 25 to 30 minutes. What does it say? I think it does take, I think it takes 25. Definitely check it at 25. Just till your cornbread is browned. A little browned. Not brown, you know, but it's a little brown. Put all the rest of the batter in here. Just kind of put it together. Spread it around. If it doesn't go to the edge, it's perfectly fine. It'll get over there. Or it'll, like I say, it won't go over the edge of the pan that way. So let's see how we do here. Take a little bit we got left. Put in the pan. There we go. We're done. Okay. Into the oven. Set for 25 minutes, and we're done. On my little pan first. You don't have to put it on that. Just if it's full. But you could put that size in an 8x8 pan. If you double it, you want it in a 9x13 pan. Let's get my 25 minutes going, and there you are. I hope you enjoyed that, and try that for yourself. And I will, let me show you one thing too. I cut off the top so it'd be even, but here is our raisin spice cake for dessert. And I'm probably just going to sprinkle powdered sugar on that. So I'll talk to you later. I'll be there in a few minutes doing my makeup.